Park, the sunshine, superb, and the battle, well, is it going to be another win for the newly crowned champion? A crowded pit road, and the sun beating down. A superb summer and a superb season's racing. Edenbridge, the sponsor of Andy Ackley, a name that you may remember if you've been around motor racing as long as I have. Edenbridge, the home of the Surtees Honda team when John Surtees drove Hondas in Formula One. That self-same garage, in fact, now with John's ex-racing manager running things. So, Ackley then, and a close look at the eyes of Dave Loudon. Once more, that car immaculate. And here is Mr. Taft. Pensive, but far from being like a nun. Steve Wardby, it's late in the season, he's got holes in his gloves. And Rob Hall, well, that car's nice and immaculate again. 3 minutes to go here at Donington Park in the final round of the Hondas, and they're on the green flag lap now. To warm the tyres, they set off round the Donington circuit. Back again onto the grid. And nobody missing from that grid as they come round this time. And this does have the makings of a very fine battle. On pole position then on the inside, it's Ackley, Taft in the middle of the row. Taft the man to watch, Loudon on the outside of the row. As the marshals move away, we concentrate on the championship winner's start. He creeps a bit to some effect. He's in front. And a pretty tight battle behind with Wardby going up alongside, trying to squeeze through, but it's a solid wall of Hondas which sees Ackley emerge in second place. Number 7, Peter Morgan, raises the dust as they go down through the Craner curves, down to the old hairpin. And at old hairpin, we will expect drama. Taft in the lead, takes it through beautifully. Ackley behind it. Then the cue. A little lawn mowing to be done? No. Out onto the straight now, Taft with quite a respectable lead, but a change there for second place. Dave Loudon up into second place. Taft a little unsteady under braking on this, the first lap. Through the chicane. We get down as far as 23 there. Chris Boone. And we're back once again at Redgate Corner, watching Taft take the optimum line in. And already he's picking his lines. Whoops, he's a bit wide there, but don't think it's too important. And down through those Craner curves. Watch the placing of this car and watch the crocodile train behind to see if anybody gets offline there. Ackley relegated to third. Hall back there. Behind Wardby. Little jingle on the grass there for 35, Keith Farrance. And pressure being applied once again. Andy Ackley kisses the front of Dave Loudon's car, at least he'd put it that way, and comes out in second place. As big a surprise to Dave Loudon as it was to Andy Ackley, I think. Meanwhile, Steve Wardby enjoyed it. He got third. Well, he did for a minute or two. But Loudon's back in front of him. Wardby trying to stay on the outside, and Hall there looking at the inside. And that's quite a battle. Now, somewhat vexed. It's Dave Loudon pressing on very hard, and the object of his attentions, unwelcome that is, as far as Andy Ackley is concerned, is trying to stay on ahead of him. The man on the grass there gets off it again. And the man in front continues with the job. For Taft, Andy Ackley with his brakes locked up, and on the inside of him, Dave Loudon. Now, how did that come out, I ask myself? The answer is much the same as before. Meanwhile, Paul Taft has not gained a lot of ground there as he goes into Redgate corner. And Ackley has gained none at all. Still being pursued by Loudun, who uses a bit more road than he does. There's a loose boot lid on Rob Hall's car, but it doesn't seem to be affecting Rob Hall. And that's Wardby behind Rob Hall. So second, third, fourth and fifth, all pretty close. This is the old hairpin. This is the Clown Prince Andy Ackley. And he's still in front by a couple of 3 cars lengths, but not for long. When we come to the chicane, once again through on the inside, a fine performance there to snatch back the place by Dave Loudun. But he didn't keep it for long, or did he? He's left the door open once again. Loudun leaves the door open, through comes Ackley. And all that hard work sees him back where he started from, third place. So down through the Craner curves once more. And this time there's a slower car that might play its part in this. And it does seem that Dave Loudun there dropped back into the clutches of Rob Hall. They're both catching the slower car, in fact all 4 of them catching the slower car, they're about to lap him. And that is very unfortunate. Number 25, the man caught up in the midst of it all, Mark Donaldson, keeps well out of the way. And if anything, the man who profited by that was Loudun. As sideways there goes Ackley, and Ackley loses 2 places as a result of that manoeuvre. So Andy Ackley threw away what could have been second, what was third, and ended up, in fact, 2 places further down. Loudun too is on the giddy limit. And the man who looks to have it most together at the moment is probably Steve Wardby. Taft comes up to the chicane for the last time to go through to take the checkered flag. Behind him, the results were as follows. Loudun second, Rob Hall third, Steve Wardby and Andy Ackley equal fourth. And so to the top 10 in the Honda Challenge for 1989. Mobil Unleaded and British Credit Trust must be delighted with Taft, Wardby, Hall and Churchill, the top 4. They're equally pleased with the success of Ackley, Loudun, Watson, Sable, the next. And to complete the top 10, 2 more drivers, Russell Grady and Dave Carvell, in the Honda Challenge 1989. The final checkered flag, the final laurels and the final champagne. For Paul Taft, the 89 champion. Will he be back for 1990? Or who else will be in that position for the Honda Challenge next year?